and welcome to Ramona Interviews, and welcome to the studio. I'm so glad to have you here and with us. We're going to get a lot of information today, so sit back, grab a cup of tea, cup of coffee, some piece of paper and pencil, and check it all out, because Catherine Rose is here with us today. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Now, this is all about connecting.
Yes.
So let's get that woman power rolling.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about Wise Her.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
it's actually wiseher.com.
Yes, correct.
All right. So tell us, how did you get this fabulous idea for the platform that helps people help themselves move on, get through that challenge?
Right. Well, Wise Her, as you mentioned, we try to help business owners and people that are trying to rise higher in their careers. We try to help them get unstuck. Mm-hmm. That's really what it is. And what we really how it started was from my own personal experience. In 2008, I was on Wall Street and was pregnant with my first child, and the mortgage market melted down, and I ended up being out of a job. They shut our division. I had a brand new baby, and at the same time, my mom had a brain aneurysm that left her paraplegic. So within 3 months' time, I lost my job, I had a brand new baby, and I had, to help take care of my mom. So I knew I needed to do something else, and I didn't know what. And that time, really, LinkedIn wasn't, big, and even Facebook really wasn't that big. And I didn't have a network outside of financial services, but I had to do something else. So I just started looking around and decided to go into online marketing. Mm-hmm. But I knew nothing about it. And so I had to really learn, and everybody wanted me to read their book or take their course, and I didn't have time for that. I had too many other things going on. So I was like, if someone could just show me, mm-hmm. just show me how to do it or tell me what to do, I could figure this out. And I found someone, I paid for their time, and within 2 weeks I got my first paying client.
Wow.
Yeah. And I started in search engine optimization, which is how to rank your website in Google, mm-hmm. and other search engines. And then I added social media, and I started to write books. I've written 9 books for small business and social media and social selling. And then just, started working in technology and learning all the different things. And then about 2018, I started looking at the challenge that women were having starting, building, growing, scaling their businesses. Mm-hmm. And what I realized was, through the research, is that 90% of women businesses are solopreneurs and 88% are under 100,000 in revenue. 88%, that's a lot.
Yeah. And
I couldn't understand where the gap was. How come we were starting businesses at 5 times the rate of men, but really just not growing and scaling them? Mm-hmm. So I just started really doing a lot of research, and what I discovered was there are 4 main challenges that women face. One is access to qualified advisors. We just don't necessarily build like a deep bench of advisors. Mm-hmm. The second is a confidence gap. Not really sure of what we're doing, and really just needing that extra little bit of confidence that will help us get to the next level. Mm-hmm. The third is what we call cognitive load. And what that is all this other stuff that's in our heads. My husband and I just had this conversation about the fact, like last week, here it is, January, mm-hmm. I have to register my children for summer camp. Because that's how it is. Yeah. But you can't just go on and register them any old time. No, you have to wait till 7 o'clock in the morning on a specific day, right? Mm-hmm. So here I am launching this company in the tech business and everything, but I have to be at my computer at 6:59 and refresh so I can get my kids into camp. And it's just that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. That's all these other things. And then the last is funding. Yeah. It's very documented that women have a challenge, with traditional bank funding, and mm-hmm. also if you're a tech startup, VC or angel networks. But honestly, when you look at most women businesses, we don't really start business that would require investment or be a good candidate for investment. It's coaches, consultants, mm-hmm. Those kinds of things, and it's much more challenging to get that. So Wise Her, we also set it up as a social enterprise that gives back a portion of our proceeds in the form of grants for women businesses and corporate education. So the idea is we have this marketplace of experts, and you can come on and find an expert in pretty much anything.
So what are some of the categories?
So what we've discovered is there's really four buckets that folks need advice in. One is business planning, HR, finance, and sales and marketing.
Okay.
And we also have technology folks on there as well.
Right. So I would like to start a business.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would like to be a consultant. I'm just picking anything
Sure.
at random.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need to present myself. So let's say I already have a logo, already have a business card, already have things like that. I already know what I'm going to do. But I don't understand social media. And everybody seems to have a social media presence. Yeah. So if I go to your website, can I find someone that will help me, and how can you walk me through how that would work and how it benefits me?
Sure. So, most of the time you don't need to like, I don't need a social media presence. No, it's really just trying to figure out which networks are probably the best for your business. So if you come to Wise Her, we have all these different categories on there. One of them is specifically social media. And you just click on that and you can look at all the different experts. Some of them are, say, very specifically that they work with corporate executives in LinkedIn, say, or I help small businesses with their social media presence. And in that case, you would find an expert and you just click to schedule a call.
Yep.
You give the expert 3 times in which you're available, and tell them what your challenge is, and they get an email, and that email will say, Catherine has suggested these 3 times to meet. They accept one of those times, and then you both get a phone number with a code, and you dial in at the prescribed time, and you just walk through your challenge with them.
Okay.
It's that simple.
So it's best for the person to be prepared, have a list of their questions. Is it better for the questions to be very, very specific as opposed to vague? Or not as specific, I guess I should say?
Well, it really depends, because some people just want to have an overall conversation. So when you said social media, so when I was a social media consultant, the first thing I would talk to you about is, okay, where does your market live online? You don't have to be everywhere, right? So I would probably start from that 50,000 foot view and then kind of whittle our way down to, where do you feel comfortable online and those kinds of things, and then kind of direct you. The call that I took the other day, because I have a long experience in sales and enterprise, so selling to large companies, the one I took the other day, it's a startup, and a technology startup, and somebody told this person that he needed to hire a salesperson, and he didn't understand how do you find a good salesperson? How would you hire a salesperson? So he had a very specific need. So it really just depends. But we can, everything from that 50,000 foot view down.
So how long would a conversation generally last, and then how is payment done?
So it's $49 for 30 minutes and $99 for 60 minutes. And that's how it works. And typically we're seeing that the calls, most people will go to that 30 minutes, most people will go to that 60 minutes, but we don't necessarily shut it off. So it's the 30 minutes, and then it doesn't just end. We really wanted to make sure that it was kind of open-ended so folks could get real value out of it. But these experts are giving their time away for less than they would normally charge, and they're doing that because of the mission. We're trying to help women rise one answer at a time.
Yeah, and you need that. There's a lot to think about if you're looking to expand where you are, if you're looking to start. It could be anything from, like, do you have people that talk about GoFundMe or funding?
Oh, absolutely, yes. We have angel investors there. We have people who have done crowdfunding campaigns. We have just, you name it. There's an expert pretty much for everything. Yeah. And we also have career as well on there. So it's not just business, because women have challenges rising in their careers as well. Yeah. So we have resume folks on there, interview specialists, those kinds of people that will help kind of walk through those challenges as well.
Now, if it's a resume type of person, does the person actually edit your resume for you, or do they just answer questions about your resume? Because you're just basically talking on the phone, so they wouldn't be able to actually see what your resume looks like, unless maybe you had it posted on LinkedIn or somewhere else.
Or you can put it in Google Docs or on a shared drive someplace. That's what folks do. Like they'll put it up on Google Docs and they can share the link to Google Docs with the person, or they have it online, or they can just, they can upload it and send it over. But yeah, they don't necessarily edit it for them, because that's what they get, that's what they get really big bucks to do.
Right,
but they'll walk through it and they'll say, oh, here's a good suggestion here or there, and then the person edits it while they're talking.
While they're talking, or takes really good notes. Now, are the calls recorded? Do you have to take a piece of paper and pencil while you're talking to the person?
So that was interesting. So that was one of the things when I first started out, we started Wise Her kind of without the platform. We started Wise Her and we were building the platform, but we didn't want to wait until Wise Her launched and say, oh, we're here. So we started kind of going and just marketing it and talking about it a lot. And I had people reach out to me on LinkedIn, hey, you have this expert network. And one of the things I really thought through, I thought, really how it came to me, I went to my daughter's lacrosse practice, right? So she's up playing lacrosse and she's 7 now. She was 7 at the time. And it's not one of those things where you just want to drop your kid, 7-year-old, off at lacrosse practice for an hour and a half. So I'm looking around and I see all these moms in their car and they're all on their computers and they're all on their phones. And I thought, I don't want to have to sit and take notes. If I'm paying for someone's time, I want to be able to kind of grab the highlights, but then go back and listen to more of the details. So so we record all the calls, and the recordings live in the members dashboard. So you can come back and listen to them.
All right, so is it free to look at the website, to go into the website?
Yeah, we have lots of free resources. We don't charge for quote unquote memberships, so you can join the site, and all the experts have articles. There's tons of events on there that you can take a look at. We have a blog on there, so yeah, there's a lot of really interesting free resources that are available. And right now, it's just pay as you go for calls.
Okay, all right. And how do you get your experts?
So initially, the bulk of the experts, you can't apply to be an expert. You have to be invited.
Okay.
And initially, the bulk of the experts have come from my personal network. So when everything happened in 2007, 2008, and as I built over the last 10 years, this really big network, I kind of vowed that I would never end up in that position again, that not to have somebody somewhere that I knew. So I'm very intentional about building my network. So I have about 12,000 LinkedIn connections. So the original group of experts that we're onboarding now have come from my personal network. And really the kind of the litmus test is, well, right now it's who would I call for advice, and not everybody's getting an invite, by the way. But also I think it's really important to not only have subject matter expertise, but also understand the audience that you're talking to. We don't want a bunch of shoulders, like, oh, you should just do this, or oh, you should just do that. We don't want that. Because I know from my own personal experience, when I was first started into search engine optimization, I mean, my questions were like, is a keyword 1 or 2 words? Like, really, that is how basic it was. And I didn't want somebody to be like, really, I wanted someone to be like, that's not a dumb question. This is how it is. That kind of that been there, done that. And also that oftentimes, especially women, we just want to be able to bounce an idea off of somebody. And it's not their job to tell you your idea is bad or to list the 700 competitors out there doing what you're doing. It's their job to listen, understand, synthesize, and say, well, did you think about this? Did you think about this, right? Not here's a competitor just so you feel like someone else is doing it, but maybe you should take a look at this other website to understand how they do it so you can do a little bit differently. That kind of thing.
And that's very, very, very helpful.
I think so, yeah. We that's what we want to do. We just want to have a big impact
on how it works.
Yeah.
Wow. So the website again?
WiseHer.com.
Okay.
Is the website.
And now, is it just in the United States? Is it international?
Actually, we are global. We have I think it's like 20 countries now in there, and growing. Because we're working with the State Department They have a program called the Academy of Women Entrepreneurs, and they also have several others. And we have Women in Tech. That's a Women in Technology Global. They have about 5,000 members, mostly in the in EMEA, and the Europe and Singapore and APAC, that region there, and a fair amount in Australia. So yeah, they're everywhere.
So if you're in Australia, you can get somebody from Australia?
If you're in Australia, you can get someone from Australia.
From here?
You can get someone from here too. Yeah, it's just the phone.
So how do you deal with the phone bill? With the phone?
Well, it's really it's just a cell phone. It's a cell phone call. So you know, it depends on what your plans allow. You just dial into a bridge. Dial into a conference line. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's and it's open. It's not open 24/7 because you make the appointment.
Well, yes, you make the appointment. So when you go on there, you can, when you select the date and time, you'll see what time it is in that expert's region.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you know you're not making an appointment with someone at 4 o'clock in the morning their time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
Yes. Yeah.
And are you able to collect stats on who's calling and then change the website and add people with, you know, where the trend is or where the need is?
Absolutely. We're constantly taking those measurements in to see, like, where are the, do we have gaps? We have corporate clients too who will say, oh, we'd love for you to have more experts in this particular area. And then we would go source them.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So it's moving, constantly moving.
Well, you really have to, because it really, the things change so quickly.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that are very, that really apply to every business. So sales, I can have a sales conversation with somebody who's a coach or consultant and someone who's trying to sell to IBM, right? I mean, because at the end of the day, sales is about identifying pain points and about making sure you understand what your customer needs and those kinds of things. So I can talk about it very generally, but there are certain things where this particular person, this gentleman the other day who called, he's trying to sell into very large enterprises, very large customers, and there are nuances, of that.
Yeah.
So you can have these general conversations, but if we see that there's a lot of people calling and looking for enterprise, level sales executives, we may have to bulk it up a little bit. But
yeah. So what are the other categories? Because you said career. Yeah. So career could be with your resume. Career could be with what? It could advice be, it could be certain industries?
In industries. It could be a situation where, maybe you're working in a company that doesn't have a great HR department, and maybe you're going through challenges at work that you just want to kind of, talk to someone about.
That's important.
It is really important.
Because HR is a big field.
It's a huge field.
And there's a lot of little things to know and not know, and how does this affect me? Does it not affect me? They just had the new act that came in where they're taking money out for you to have some kind of leave. How does that really affect me? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And so those are the kinds of things. And then we have everything on the business side. So pricing, taxes, like I said, search engine optimization, social media. We have web folks, from developers to WordPress and Shopify and those kinds of folks, where they go and they would list their T-shirts for sale, for example. So we have folks around that, experts in that area, and then we also have, because it's very important, as I mentioned, one of the challenges is the cognitive load. So it's really important for women particularly to be able to kind of bounce ideas off of someone about work-life integration or some of the other self-care and wellness and things like that. So we do have a life category in there that we have organizational designers and people that will help you stop procrastinating. We had a great webinar with one of our experts talking about how to stop procrastinating, kind of, time management and things like that.
Now,
So,
if it's a webinar, is that also a fee?
no, the webinars are free.
Okay.
So we have those as well.
Is that under events? Is that
Yep,
under?
it would be under events, exactly.
Okay.
Or follow our Facebook page, Wise Her,
Okay.
on Facebook, and we put up the events all the time, and those are all, because our goal really is to kind of impact the entire ecosystem. So you have these experts who many of them are small businesses themselves and coaches and consultants, and they're having challenges managing everything and also being able to attract customers. So we help give them visibility, which is a sales funnel for them.
Yeah.
And then they provide the expertise, and it helps these other folks here start to grow and build and scale.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is impacting the whole ecosystem by providing the grants.
Right.
Because sometimes you don't need $1 million.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need a couple of hundred or a couple of thousand to kind of get you going.
To get you going. Now, do the people that they're not selling to you, are they?
No, that's not allowed. I mean,
Okay.
so actually what happens is they're allowed to talk about what they do.
This is the
obviously
experts.
the experts.
Okay.
So the idea is and they have call criteria that they have to follow too, and of course we record all the calls so we get to listen to them for quality assurance. But at the end of the call, they can say, did I answer all of your questions? Is there anything else that you need specific help with? Nope, I'm all set. Great. Guess what? I have a course starting, or I have a coaching program. I'm happy to send you that information. And that relationship from there goes between the coach, consultant,
Right.
mentor, and the member.
Okay. Right. So it really is focused on being a resource.
It is.
With a real person.
Yes.
Who has that experience. So you're not reading it from a book.
Right.
You're talking to somebody that you can be specific about. It's not that it's not important to read, to study, to understand, but there is definitely more of an upside to that personal connection.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not personal, but that professional, personal,
one-on-one,
connection, one-on-one, to someone who's been there, done that.
Exactly. And and so many people will say, a free consult, and as you mentioned, they're not allowed to sell. So a free consult really isn't free, because the person's giving you their time away for free because they want you to buy from them at the end.
Yeah.
Not to say that these folks don't want you to want to work with them. Of course they do. But the dynamic of a fee does change it a little bit, because it's not. It's really making sure that you are focusing in on the challenge that you have, and the person is focusing on your challenge, not necessarily just trying to sell
Their
you
agenda,
something.
another
Correct.
agenda.
Correct.
The agenda's on you, kind of, because you're serious, you're paying for it, you're putting forth that effort, you're organized. This is your time. This is where you are and what you're looking to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. And how many years?
So we just launched in September. We launched in September.
With the website?
With the website,
With the
yeah.
website,
So
okay.
Prior to that, we were just kind of matching people up. But yeah, we launched in late September, and within 3 days we had our first customer that wasn't our mother or our sister, so that was really exciting. Someone we did not know at all. I remember we launched, we were voted top 100 startups of the year, global startups of the year.
Congratulations.
Thank you, it was great. And we launched, and then I got a notification on my phone that someone had scheduled a call. And I thought, I don't know that person. So I texted my co-founders, and we found which expert they scheduled the call with, and we texted her, you sure you don't know her? You know what I mean? Because we wanted it to be real, and it was really great. And then, we knew that the call was scheduled for the next day. So we were just kind of holding our breath to see, is this going to be what we were hoping for?
Yeah, sure.
And the call went, and then the review was posted. And the last line of the review was, I'm so grateful for this platform. And it was this woman in Oregon. She just saw us post on LinkedIn that we had launched, and completely random person. And it worked the way it was supposed to.
But she had a question, she needed information, and she had a resource to go to.
And she got the information, and she's come back several times and made additional calls with additional experts. So it was working exactly the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, so she's building, her portfolio, whatever it is that she needs
exactly
to go. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
So
fantastic.
we were just,
Are you like the only person who's done this? I have not seen this before.
No, there are there are other pay for advice sites out there, obviously, but the other ones out there are usually focused in like traditional tech startups.
Okay.
Mostly, technology and those kinds of things, and
and medical. I've seen them in medical.
And then you have executive level coaching places. But it's $250, $300 an hour, and not to say that that's not worth it.
Right.
It's just when you look at the ecosystem that we're trying to have an impact on, and you know that 88% of these people are under $100,000 in revenue.
Yeah.
You're not really helping the community by doing that. But at the same time, we didn't want to be coming out saying, women should charge what they're worth, but not for us, right? We didn't want to do that.
Right.
So we thought this is a really good way, having it to be a social enterprise, so everyone feels like they're on a mission.
Right.
You're not giving your time away, because everybody gives free time. And so what we're doing is we're trying to change that dynamic. Instead of giving away a free call, you're setting yourself up to ascribe a value to your time.
Yeah.
And a portion of it goes back to the grant fund.
Yeah.
So now everybody feels good about it.
Yeah. Well, I wish you great success.
Thank you.
Wiseher.com.
WISEHER.com. Yes.
And check it out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Calendar Rose. So glad you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
I'm Ramona, and you've been watching Ramona Interviews. Have a blessed week.